Hey, home theater nerds, we're live. Just getting quick to it fast. Hey, Todd. How
What's
you doing,
up?
buddy? Todd
Hey,
Anderson from
good.
AV Nirvana, and we're also streaming on AV Nirvana's YouTube as well, right, Todd? Did you get that squared away?
Yeah, I think so. I
I
don't
think it's
really
up
know what
there.
I'm doing to be honest. It says
It's
you're
up there.
live on YouTube. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, we are. Yeah, and we got comments coming in. VJ joined the chat. Mike Schramm had already said hi. Says, good evening, guys. VJ says, hey, all.
awesome.
But yeah, thanks, Todd. Thanks for joining. I
Yeah,
literally, as I think this is the only reason you joined me, as I told you, I only have an hour, and you were like, "All right,
yeah.
I'm in."
Once you said
No,
that, I'm like, I'm in.
I can't do this 3 hour stuff. Oh, so no, but I really, I even just to squeeze this in, I've been busy since I've been back. I don't know how have you been since you've been back from Cedia?
Working, trying to get.
Working.
Yeah, it's just trying to get all the content, out there, and dig through emails and take care of life.
Yeah. How,
Took a
how
day to
many?
recover.
Oh yeah. How many videos do you got coming, and how many have you put out already? I've watched quite a few of them already.
That's a good question. I think that I have probably around 20-ish. I think
Coming or
somewhere in that
done?
range. I think total.
Okay.
That's a good question, though. I never went back and really calculated out how many I had done. So,
I gotta tell you, I mean, you told me last year, you told me your schedule. We talked obviously before. I knew you were busy, but seeing you in person working and like and when I say that, I'm not saying like I wasn't standing next to you. It's the fact that I couldn't see you. I couldn't find you. It's like when we literally I've said this to many
yeah,
people, the story of us running into each other when on the sidewalk like that.
that
I
was
was
great.
just like I might not have seen you. I mean, I would have seen you that night, I think, or the next night when we went out to dinner because we were part of that group. But
Yep,
I was so psyched to have that happen. And
I know that was great. That was good timing. Didn't we walk over to my hotel and they said no, we can't serve?
is that where we went? I didn't know that was your hotel, but yeah, they couldn't
Yeah,
serve us. And then we were
yeah,
like, the first place that we met, we stood there and talked for like 10 minutes. And then I was like, what are you grabbing a bite to eat? I'm like, I'll join you. And you're like, okay. And they were
yeah.
45-minute wait, and you had to get back.
That, that's
So
right.
then we wandered the streets just looking for a bite to eat, and
We
you grabbed 5 tortellini and bought me 5 shrimp.
That's right. So the funny thing is, my hotel who said, yeah, no, we can't, we don't have salads or something at lunch, and we don't
Yeah.
do whatever. Right, literally in the lobby area, they had this coffee shop in that hotel that served sandwiches and all kinds of lunch foods. So I have no idea.
It's when you're in a
Obviously,
hurry,
somebody was a
though. It's
little
hard
close.
to tell. It's you have trouble. We because you were literally, and that's why I knew it was you too. I mean, I saw you from a distance, and you're literally like plowing your way through the street with your gear in your hands. You got your
Yeah.
backpack, your tripod in
Yes.
another hand, and I'm like, that's got to be Todd, right? And then I came up behind you, and I was like, where can I get some AV Nirvana swag? And you had this look on your face, like, what? Oh, it's you. So.
Yeah, that was great. I'm glad that you tracked me down there. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of my complaints, and I think a lot of the press are having complaints about the lack of a good media room at CEDIA. Last year was abysmal. They literally had us in one of the hallways with some
Yeah.
like blinder curtains up, with no support whatsoever. In years past, they had giant room with, food available and interview rooms and all kinds of stuff. And so hopefully some of that's going to come back. Because as you saw, when you're running around from, 8 until 5, you really do need a place where you can quickly pit stop and
Yeah.
refuel because things run over, things start early, schedules are changing. And so hopefully they'll get that figured out for next year. But
Yeah, that sounds like
I don't know.
something the vendors, like the it feels to me like something that all of the what do you call it, exhibitioners should
Yeah, the
that it should
vendors.
be part of their, yeah, and pay for, so that, because that's who we're there for them.
Right.
Obviously they don't, the dealers and integrators that are there, they're doing their thing, but it's like, to get this out to the public, this is the only way, because the public can't get in there. And
Right. Yeah, and I'm not sure what's going on. I think they had cost cutting after COVID, so they got rid of the media lounge.
yeah,
Because I used to duck in there and get lunch and then shut my eyes for 15 minutes and try and recharge.
yeah,
Because, like I told you, it's kind of like being a casino show, a casino floor for
yeah.
9 straight hours. It's a little disorienting. So,
Let's try this
and
one
that, or
out for a
not
second.
disorienting, but tiring. Did you just
Yeah,
zoom in? Yeah,
yeah,
I apologize, everybody.
that's okay.
This is coming off my iPhone.
Yeah, so
Pretty
yeah, I'm
sad.
using my MacBook, trying something new.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's this is weird. What was I gonna say? I'm in my
I need to
theater,
get
so I
over.
felt like,
I need to.
yeah, it's like, hey, we'll figure this out.
Yeah, and I don't have one here. I haven't been in my theater room now in about 3 weeks.
Really?
So I need to get back over to my house and
I just watched
make sure
Ahsoka.
everything's intact.
Today's Ahsoka with my son. I had to literally cram it in. I've been so
Oh,
busy
yeah.
since I've been home. Yeah,
And
just trying to. Are you caught up on it up until then, or not at all? Okay, it's this
no.
episode is like, we just literally just finished it, so I could get in here with you, and I said, oh man, it feels like this is the mid season for anybody that's listening and has seen it. I won't spoil it, but it was a really, really good episode, and amazing. This season's Ahsoka is the best home theater experience of the Star Wars series. They keep improving it at
Wow.
every series. Yeah, the
Wow, that's
audio,
awesome.
it's making my harmony vibrate. So turn on, so you're getting a good bass response when your harmony turns on. And that's
Wow, that's
rare for
awesome. That
streaming.
bodes well, right?
Yeah, yeah, it bodes
Awesome.
well for streaming for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the picture's really good too. I think they're starting to Disney and whatever they're doing. They're starting to figure out what Netflix has now. Netflix is really good for their picture. They have really good HDR over streaming, and
Yeah.
I think they figured out some secrets. But yeah, so yeah, it's really good.
It's good to see you, man. I mean,
Nice to see
the
you.
closer
And
we can get to better, better AV coming over streaming, the better. Because, as we've seen,
think,
discs could be on the chopping block sooner than later.
yeah, they're
Look
making a
out! I
push
hate to
at
be
it
doom and
though.
gloom.
They're making a push at it, and what's funny, and this is a great topic. I've been wanting to talk about is everybody's afraid of like the death of physical media, but in all of my home theater life since '88, it never dies. It just evolves. We'll always have great quality. There'll always be a level of great
Yeah.
quality, but it's how it gets delivered to you is going to change. That's a guarantee.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like to
Yeah.
hold on to
I
something
think
and be like,
I think people just don't want to lose the physical touch to things that they can collect and, store in their shelves and show off and, that the whole idea of all that. But the next generation of people coming along, that means nothing to them. Kids that are now like my kids that are in their early
right,
20s and your kids, they're perfectly fine just streaming whatever. Now maybe your son is a little different. Maybe he does like to collect things, but my kids are all about convenience. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But that's the thing is you have to evolve with it. You have to if you want to be, if you're in home theater for the home theater experience part, which I'm assuming everybody listening is because that's what I'm about, the experiences. So,
Right.
but yeah, if you're in it for that, you've got to be able to adapt because it is going to change, and it's like it goes with, like you said, the youth. Well, if they're the majority and they're the ones buying, that's where the media is going to go. That's where the quality is going to go, I should say, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to think that there are greener pastures for the hobby overall, and I think we see glimmers of it with like what Kaleidoscape's doing, and like you're saying, Apple TV is doing a lot of great things. Netflix. So, fingers crossed.
Well, it's there, and like you said, and Kaleidoscape. But that's the thing is, I think that's the direction everything's going. Now, whether it's going to be as sophisticated as Kaleidoscape is, I think we will eventually get a version from somebody else that's not as sophisticated, but you can still get the top quality movie. It just doesn't have all the other features, right? And you just download and go. But I don't, but then, like you said, it's that tangible thing. Do you have something to collect, something to put on the shelf, which people do like, and it's,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I miss that about vinyl. I used to love opening up vinyl and checking out the lyrics and the notes on the end, scratched on the end. What do they call them? The inside notes on the inside of the vinyl record.
Yeah. Well, it'd be the tracks. It'd be each track would be in there on the center, so you'd know before you flipped it. You mean?
Right. No, I mean the little inscription. Like they would always inscribe like some little saying, or there'd be some like version numbers and things like that, kind of scratched into the,
like etched into the vinyl. You mean
etched? Yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, so many cool things like that we're all missing out on. But I do love the convenience. As you know, we've talked about this so many times. I love the convenience of streaming and Kaleidoscape. I mean, all those kinds of things. Being able to sit down and just dig something off to watch and enjoy it.
Or be able to exchange scripts like we did today. Did you get? Oh, you don't have your theater. You can't watch.
I don't have my theater, so I can't watch. I'm going to be over there tomorrow morning. So.
Oh, okay.
I know. I can't pack. I'm going to be over there tomorrow for.
Suitcase.
I know. Believe me, I'm like crossing my fingers that I'm not going to show up and see it just covered in drywall. That's my greatest fear is that, so we're not doing any work in our basement. Everything's this first and second level of our home. And, hopefully they've been turning off the air conditioning while they've been doing drywall work.
When I built this theater 20 years ago, I didn't turn off the AC, and I came down here with my work sander, and I sanded the room. I go upstairs, and my wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?" The whole house was covered in plaster dust. I was like, whoops. And I'm down there. I sand stuff for a living. I don't wear a mask. I don't do anything. So when you see me drop dead at like 55, you'll know why. But she's like, and you get the white under your nose. I'm like, what? I don't have a problem. And she's like, look what you did to my house. The house wasn't even like a month old yet. And I was...
And
I don't even think we had a kitchen table yet.
It gets in everything. Like you just start finding it all over everything. So you'll find this funny. We had, many iterations ago of our house, we did some work and they didn't shut the air off, and it did get all over the home theater. So I went out, I bought a shop vac with a special HEPA filter on it, and I sucked up all of this drywall dust. I was so proud of myself, and I went away, came back the next day, needed to do a little more, and the hose had come detached from the main part of the shop vac. So I plugged it back in. Little did I know I plugged it into the side that was blowing out. And when I turned on the machine, for whatever reason, it started ejecting its contents. I was in the home theater room. It was like, if you can imagine like Ghostbusters, it was like, just, I could not yank that cord out of the wall fast enough. I was like, no! Oh.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. That's so great. That's so funny. Yeah, dust is brutal, and trying to, that's so funny.
Like a baker covered in flour. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Joe Hotzel says that. But Mike
Cedia questions, I see.
Yeah, so this is, I don't, we'll talk a little bit about Cedia, but I know you got a lot of videos coming and I want people to be able to have something to listen to when you go there, but this is
I'll
a
talk
good
about
one.
CETA for the rest of the hour. Yeah.
I know.
Oh
It's,
man.
I've been doing it all. I'm blown away. I just finished my Takeover Tuesday for next week with Youth Man. We talked
Okay.
for like 2 hour, over 2 hours, and then he talked to me for like another hour and a half after, just like helping me out and stuff. I'm like, oh, lots of big fun stuff coming.
Sweet.
But yeah, I asked him the question because I don't know, and I'll ask you before we get to. We'll put mics down for a second. We'll get to that. But how long does it take you to recharge? And I'll tell you his answer. His answer was 1 day. So what's your answer? How long does it take to recharge from Cedia?
Uh, definitely. I laid on the couch for all of Sunday. I didn't want to touch anything. So yeah, I guess about 1 day I was back at it. Probably Sunday night. I was starting to look at the first couple videos I wanted to get out there. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard not to, it's this fine balance of not totally exhausting yourself and burning out. But I left there with a lot of energy. It was once I kind of got on the plane to fly home that I could just feel this big letdown,
Yeah.
So, how about yourself?
I exactly what you just said. It's like the flight home, the day home was tough. Sunday is like because you're just on a plane all day coming home, and then I went out to dinner that night when we got home, and then I crashed, and next morning I have been like nonstop. I just want to do more home theater stuff. It was like I came out of a home theater rocket. Like I just want to do more. I've been doing more and more stuff ever since. Like I recorded. This is my second today. I did the live the other day. I did. I'm just like I just want to do more and more. And it's like rejuvenated me. And I haven't even been able to get into my theater. I haven't had time. I was like, Duel. Did you see that? That Duel came out on Kaleidoscape in
No.
4K. Spielberg's Duel came out on Kaleidoscape, 4K, Atmos, all of that. I
did not
bought
see
it on the plane. I think I was in like Chicago, and I was like, oh my God. I bought it, right? And I haven't had an hour and a half to sit down and watch it because it's so short. I was like, I almost watched
This
it
is
this afternoon.
the one where the truck is following the guy, the
Yeah,
original. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh
from
yeah. Boy, I haven't seen that in a
1971
long
or something
time.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a bootleg copy of VHS back in the 80s of it that I love that movie. And now to get it in Dolby Atmos, I had a bootleg copy in the 80s, and now I'm getting 4K HDR Atmos. I'm like, come on.
I wonder if that sounds really thin. I might in my head I'm saying, yeah, it's going to sound really just old.
Yeah. I feel
And
like Spielberg
not have a lot of
wouldn't
weight to
allow
it.
it. Yeah, Spielberg wouldn't allow it to go in that direction. I don't know. I haven't even had a chance to listen to it yet, and I'm looking forward to it. So,
Awesome.
but yeah.
Awesome.
So
Get
yeah,
to it,
so
man.
Mike's asking, what was Todd's favorite experience at Cedia? Your favorite experience?
Well,
Besides
Mike,
meeting
it was meeting DJ. Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that.
me. Oh, that
So next question,
tortellini must have been excellent.
$28. It was delish.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
It was like $19, I think, for that little
You
bowl of
literally got
broth with-
5 tortellini. That was it. I was just like,
Well, you heard me ask her, is this like enough to like, is this like a lunch? She's like, oh,
Right.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, okay. My definition of lunch and her definition of lunch obviously
Yeah, exactly.
have nothing in common. Yeah. Okay, so my favorite experiences. The obvious ones that I love the Trinov and the Storm Audio booths. I thought they were amazing. Trinov, totally groundbreaking, first of its kind, just really, really amazing stuff. And Storm Audio is right equal to the task there. Maybe not the bass maybe wasn't as like powerful, and nuance, but it was
Right.
pretty darn good. But my favorite experiences, there were two of them. One was Theory Audio and Pro Audio Technology. I got to interview Paul Hales, that's going to come out at some point, and sit through a demo. And that, to me, first off, the sound was like mind blowing, just freaking incredible. Did you hear the demos by any chance?
No, I didn't
DJ?
get that one. No.
He started off, he was in a sound room downstairs. He started off with just in-ceiling speakers, these little in-ceiling speakers that I'm telling you, if you walked in that room and saw the speaker array, when you see the video, you'll see he had their lines all set up. These were recessed in this wall they had built. You would walk in that room and think that you were listening to like a $15,000 floor stand. Like, it was so perfectly nuanced, it just etched with detail. It was amazing. And then they just kept building off that to their end walls, to their floor standards. This is a company that's really into, for instance, the RP22 kind of requirements of having great off-access response. They use compression drivers. It just is really something special when you hear audio that's that good. And it was amazing. Check them out, everybody out there. They're just really next level stuff. And then right across the hall from that was maybe my favorite, maybe a little bit above Theory Audio, is this Quantum Media Systems. It's a company out of, and they build giant LED walls. And when you hear that, you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to look like the LED wall that's in the mall, this giant 20-foot high monstrosity. These are like $400,000 to $700,000 LED walls, probably the most elite large format screens ever created. They build these things literally from the pixel up. It's all to their specifications. There are no seams to be seen. I mean, it's built like a micro LED panel, okay? The one that they had was 18 feet wide. It had just gotten DCI certification, so it's going to start being used in movie houses and screening rooms and all kinds of places like that. And no bones about it, it is literally the most beautiful image I've ever seen anywhere in my entire life. I could not believe, and last year's demo I thought was off the charts, amazing. This year was just, I don't even know what to say. I was almost at a loss of words. In fact, John Siaka was sitting next to me while they were rolling out. They went through their kind of press spiel, and then they moved on to showing some movie content. And then they got out Certified Red, the camera manufacturer.
Yep.
Certified 4K Red camera stuff. And I have this, it's on the video. Actually, it's on our website on YouTube also right now, so you can go on and watch, see some of the video clips. This stuff, every clip that advanced through their demo just got sillier and sillier in terms of how amazing it looked. Where I was just by the end just kind of laughing to myself, like, this literally cannot be real.
Right.
It's pretty awesome stuff. So obviously this stuff is like way out of the reach for the normal human being. But man, if I had 700 grand or 500 grand laying around and I wanted a video system, that would be absolutely, there'd be no other thing that I would look for. That would be it. And I'd run my whole theater off it.
There's some stuff. Hang on, before we get to, I want to see if you think we'll get to that someday. I think we're getting that static issue again with your audio. Did you hear that?
No way. Nope.
Oh yeah. You can't hear it on your end? Okay. Then we can all hear it. When you speak, it starts getting staticky. There it goes. So when you speak, it starts getting staticky. I swear to everybody this is, hey, I did this today. I did this earlier today with Youth Man. Hey, crap happens. What did you do before? Can you? This is so funny because it is.
I
It's like
don't
as you
know.
started talking, it was ticking, ticking, and then it gets. It's that VJ saying, "Yeah, only when
Oh
Todd
yeah.
talks."
So
And
it's
so
me.
yeah, and it's like as soon as you stop
Man.
talking, and it's not going to be fun if you don't talk. So,
Oh, now wait a second. Is it happening right now?
yep. It doesn't it like when you're not speaking right now, there's nothing. It's nice. And then all of a sudden when you go to say something, and what's funny is it gradually builds. So like if you open your mouth right now and say something, it's gonna go. It's so funny.
Okay. And what happens if I talk like that? Is that
Same thing. We can still hear it. It's just snap crackle pop. It sounds like Rice Krispies are going off in your lap.
okay? Different mic, different house,
I
different internet
know.
connection.
And you're the only guest this happens with.
Okay, hold on. Let me
I just thought of
hold on.
something, but now I can't hear you at all. I can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, is it still crackling?
No. Did you
Okay, it's
just go
coming
to?
now. I turned off
Okay.
my
Okay.
microphone and I put audio onto my earbuds.
Okay. Now let's see what happens. It may build because this was what happened last time, and it built a little bit, and then we solved it. But we'll see what happens. I had another idea that we'll talk about later. But anyways, back to that. We'll get back to that. But
Okay.
that was fun. So that's a
Okay.
great right there is a great example on like any guests that want to come on take over Tuesdays. Don't worry about your gear. We all have issues. So it's like don't be nervous. Like you don't sound right. You know, even Todd
I
stopped
have no,
having
I'm
some
sure I
problems.
sound really echoey now,
You just no, you just
but
sound louder. Actually, I can. I'll bring that down a little bit. I can actually.
okay. Well, hopefully that will fix the problem. Yeah, gosh, I have no idea. Could it be my computer?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's like let's see, reduce background noise. Try that on you. All right. Anyways, so that's the
Okay,
stuff. It's VJ. It's Todd's electronic personality that's coming through.
that's right. I'm just an aberration. It's like filtering into
Yeah,
the yeah.
exactly.
That's funny.
It's Chat GBT Todd. So
It's the
whatever.
aliens.
Yeah. So no, what I was going to say is that when I looked at the rooms, now see, my out of my two that I put out yesterday when I said on the live stream, I liked between the Trinov and the Storm Audio room. If I
Yeah.
had to rank them, I they were so close. Yeah, the bass was better, I thought, but I thought the bass in the Storm Audio was amazing too,
Oh
right?
yeah, totally amazing.
But they both
Yeah.
were awesome, and but I gave the Storm Audio the advantage because I thought for the sole purpose of that room had more tech in it that was going to be attainable by us someday. I thought that the Trinov room, because it's like part of that was the room itself, and that's like something they were showing off that they can do. We're never
hmm
gonna do that. I know you tried really hard today, but we're never gonna be able to get a room like that.
Yeah, no, but waveforming, we're eventually going to get down to
Yeah,
where they're able to use three subs in the front, two in the back.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot more difficult to deploy. But as you heard, man, those twelve
Oh,
subs in the front. I don't know if people out there are aware.
12 and
12
12,
sub,
yeah.
12 21-inch subwoofers in the front, 12 21-inch subwoofers in the back. It was something like 16,000 watts of power
Yeah.
for those 24 subs, and the bass was going down to like 5 hertz with no decibel loss or something insane, and it
Yeah.
sounded amazing. Like it was
Yeah. And
something else.
when you hear that sweep to 100 hertz and you hear it when they don't have a waveforming on, and it just like all the bass sweeps we've ever heard. It's like it's
Yep.
variable all the way up. And it's like, well, I just that's what bass sweeps sound like, right? That's what they're supposed to sound like. Then they throw on the waveforming and you're like, oh my God. It's just like 100% consistent all the way up to
Sure, and louder. I don't know if you noticed.
yes,
It
yes.
was much louder because the energy isn't getting knocked down by itself, essentially, I would guess, by
See, you know what I thought? You know what maybe my theory was the higher you go, more frequencies we can hear. You can't hear 5 hertz. So it's going to be audibly like not as loud because you typically we're incapable of hearing that. So all we're
right.
hearing at that point is like woo, and then it's going up into the audible range and
Sure,
it's going to
sure,
get
sure, sure.
louder,
Yeah.
right? You see what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, but I think what I was saying is that the bass sweep without waveforming on sounded quieter all the way up compared to the one with
oh
waveforming
yeah.
on,
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
which
saying.
is the opposite
Right.
of what I thought was going to happen. I thought that the waveforming would actually
Yep.
kind of damp it down, but it really seemed to bring the bass, give it more power and life.
Yeah.
It was really cool to experience that. I mean, both of those rooms though were just off the charts, awesome. Uh, great to see JVC. What did you think of their demo?
Uh, I I thought the projector was outstanding. That 8K image was at the
Yeah,
end that
man,
they give you. You're just like, oh, what the
crazy.
hell? It's just
Yeah,
like, and like I've said to people, like it's when you're like up close to the screen and you're like you can't see pixels, you can't, and that's what it's. I mean, it's just. And how big was that screen? What was that 168 or something like that, or
165. Yeah,
160? That was a
it was
165.
a Studio Tech 130, 165.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
But I thought the room, and I said this yesterday, I'm like, they are seriously lacking in presentation because it was
Oh yeah,
just about the screen.
that's right. They'd never have audio as a thing. It's all about the visuals for them.
I was
But
so
pretty amazing
disappointed
though
in that. It is.
that they can pull that off with no extra processing. Um,
Yeah.
I really, I say this all the time. I think you'd be hard pressed to walk into a room with one of those projectors running and be like, oh yeah, they don't have a, Mad VR or Lumagen running on that. I mean, it's
Right.
pretty
It
incredible. And
does
then
look good.
I don't know, did you go on Sony's?
Yep. Yep.
Now I don't know what they were running processing wise. I don't believe they were
None.
running any,
None. Both
but
Sony and JVC had zero video processors going.
yeah,
They were all running just really just because, and I think that's a testament to the video processing part because they know it's like we got to show you what our projectors can do because once you put our video processor in line, that kind of levels the playing field for everybody.
it
So you
does.
take,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like
Well, to a point,
this,
it levels it to a point, right? I
yeah,
mean, you
but
still have
but
factors that factor into it, but yeah, you're right.
right. But it's like JVC's selling you their processing. So they
Yeah.
have to do that. And to be fair, Sony's trying to compete with that because not everybody's going to throw a video processor in line. So this is what we can do. And I will say, though, the Sony actually surprised me. I thought it was going to be a bigger drop from the JVC than it was, seeing it being able to see them that close. I thought the Sony performed well. They're both being fed Kaleidoscape, so you're getting premium content right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Right.
But
Yeah.
and they had to, I overheard this, so I think I can say it because I heard it and it wasn't anybody at any thing, but somebody was saying about like some like Kaleidoscape may be able to do 8K someday. And that was I was on the floor and I was trying to I was overhearing other conversations by people, and it was away for it was even not even near Kaleidoscape. I think they were outside the JVC because JVC had to use a different server for that for that 8K demo.
Yeah.
And somebody was mentioning that you may be able to import that over there. They had heard it. I was like, really? So maybe there's something coming someday. I don't know. But anyways, getting back to the processing, it's like I thought they both performed really well. But yes, the JVC processing and it looks really, really good. I mean, it like you
Yeah.
said, it's with that content, you'd be hard pressed to think it's not on a processor.
Yeah. I mean, what were they showing? What was the space movie? What is that?
Well, if you could open your scripts, you'd have it there all listed. No,
It's
no,
what's
they showed Passengers.
Passenger?
They sh
Wait, yeah,
Passengers. They
yeah.
opened with Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Actually, they opened with that. I think it was some kind of just basic, not basic, but it was some maybe Oriental something. Was that them? Something like that. But then you go
I
into
think
Doctor
I
Strange.
missed the beginning of it.
Oh, okay.
I stepped in when they were doing Doctor Passengers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then
So
from
yeah,
there it goes into yeah, the 8K. But yeah, Passengers looked fantastic. But what's funny is I played it here when I got home, and there's a line that Chris Pratt says that I didn't even hear when I was in the room, and I heard that demo like 2 or 3 times, and you couldn't even hear it in the room. And I'm like, now I
yeah.
am all about the experiences. I love doing this, and I was like, what the hell? You're shorting yourself. Like, come on, throw in something, right? And I was like,
Yep.
mm, okay. But
It is true. I mean, Sony didn't have a great audio system going in their room, and I didn't even step in to see the
no, they
Epson
did.
demos.
I the Sony the 7000 had their flagship receiver running with 13 channels of amplification, and they powered the whole. It sounded really good,
Oh,
and
did you
they
think
said,
so? That's funny. I
well,
walked out of there like, ugh.
no, no, no. Compared to
But
the other rooms, it doesn't sound good. But here's the caveat: you have to, and you'll understand what I'm about to say, because the listener go, "Why does DJ think it sounded good?" I know what it can sound like. Everything in this room was elevated about 6 feet too high. So remember all the speakers were up in the. I think they were Kef speakers, but
yeah,
the
they
whole
were
room
caps.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole room was powered by just the receiver and no, no external amplification or anything. And they played that Spider. Did you see the Spider-Man one? The Spider-Man scene with Mysterio.
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought that tracked really well around the room with the overheads and everything that we got. I think we got. Did we get that in the Trinov room too? Yes, I did. Did you get that one in the Spider-Man in the Trinov room?
Yeah, where they're coming all the spider, he's
Yep.
like fighting people, and yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
movie is
yeah.
that from?
That's from Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Again,
Right. Okay.
it's in your scripts when you get home to your theater. Oh,
Right on.
I got a whole. I'm talking. You're sitting by a fire here. I'm talking to an old man for God's sakes, and you're younger than me. Todd, this is how you do it. You hit the little button with the triangle on it.
Huh? Can you come over and help me? Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's what we've come
but
to.
yeah, but that's what I thought about the like. I gave Sony the credit that room, the credit that like they were delivering all of their stuff through their ecosystem, and yeah, it wasn't perfectly placed, but I thought it was like that's something you could do. And they tell you $68,000 for everything you see here. My wife was like, like they mean that's
68
cheap.
grand, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
They mean that's cheap. It's like compared to the other rooms you're in, you're like, that's a bargain.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, compared to $1 million room,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Now, one thing. Here's another. Mike, you had asked about favorite things. Sony's new quantum dot OLED TV
Hmm.
was on display there, and I talked to Rob Brennan. He gave me a booth tour for about 40 minutes. He's a big
Oh, wow.
Sony guy there. Um, and then I interviewed him about the receivers. So that's coming out maybe
Oh, cool.
tomorrow. Who knows? But
All right.
yeah, we
He's
talked
not trying to
extensively
tease you. He
about.
just doesn't know when he's going to be done. It's like,
But that TV has something like 20% more brightness than last year's quantum dot OLED that won the Value Electronics Shootout. And that one clearly was the winner of the group at that shootout. And unfortunately, I'm going to miss the shootout this year. It's happening in like 2 weeks. But I wish I was there to see that one. That TV, did you stop and look at that one?
yeah. Oh, yeah. All the Sony stuff, the
Nuts.
Sony TVs, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
no,
yeah.
just that new quantum dot OLED that they had on the outside. I think it was like a
Yeah, yeah,
70
yeah.
inch.
I think I got a
Man,
picture of it. I think that's one of the pictures I showed yesterday. But yeah, it is.
crazy stuff.
it's insanely bright, yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah, perfect.
which is it's good for. I mean, obviously, you don't need that in a dedicated theater room, but I mean,
No,
what you can achieve now in your living room. I mean, geez,
I
it's
know. Really nuts.
so good.
Yeah, they
Speaking
figured
of
it
that,
out.
yeah, Mike Schramm's
Ooh.
asking. Speaking of video processing, how about video processing for OLEDs? And you're the man because you're the one that convinced me that that is needed because you saw a Mad VR demo on an OLED, right? A while ago, not this
Yeah,
weekend, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that projectors are more likely to need it than a TV, and
Yes.
really good OLEDs are probably, the Sonys and LGs of the world are less likely to need it than another brand that's doing OLED TVs, which I'm
Yeah.
not going to name, but you can figure that out. But I think that, yeah, so my understanding is that TVs, when they do their video processing, do it in larger chunks of zones. And if you get something like a Lumigen or a Mad VR, you can really dial it down and make it a lot tighter. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're taking out the other thing that I'm learning is it's not even so much about like video processing for like your discs or your 4K discs or your like a kaleidoscape. It's what it does for your system, even in an OLED situation, what it does for your system to streamline it before it gets to the TV. So or your display. And it's so like if you're it'll the people that I know that have gotten video processors, the biggest impression they're getting right out of the box is when they put on their like streaming stuff. And they're like, oh my God. I mean, I remember before I got one, I would see in reviews and people were like, the news has never looked so good. And I was like, what the hell does that mean? But I was like,
That's
I
funny.
tried it. It didn't improve the news for me, but I don't watch a lot of news in my theater. So, but all of my streaming content was greatly enhanced. And it's like I've said to people, it's everybody talks about Dolby Vision and how great that is. And it is. But it's kind of like, here's a rudimentary version, and I hate to say that about Dolby Vision because it's great, but it's a rudimentary version for the masses, and we're going to tone
Yeah,
map this for you through from beginning to end.
yeah,
And one of the things that I've had conversations with experts and people, and everybody's like, I need Dolby Vision and everything. It's like the better your TV, the less you need Dolby Vision.
of
But people want
course.
to spend all the extra money on the expensive stuff because it has Dolby Vision. But it's like, no, the processing in the TV outclasses Dolby Vision. And then
Yeah.
the Lumigens or the Mad VRs, they outclass that by they lift everything up and tone map it appropriately for you. And I think there's a huge misconception with that, but you
Oh,
know,
totally. Yeah, it's all a lot of that's wrapped into marketing, no doubt
yeah,
about it. I will say this, anybody out there that's looking at TVs, if you can swing the Sony version of OLED, that's what I would do because their processing is that much more advanced than what we're getting out of Samsung and LG. LG's second, Samsung's third. If we had
okay,
Panasonic over here, Panasonic would probably be right up there with Sony. But Panasonic's not going to be here in the United States, so you can forget about that. The Sony processing is where it's at. They're all using the same panels essentially. Well, Samsung and Sony are using the same quantum dot OLED panels because Samsung is manufacturing them, and LG and Sony are using the same W OLED panels. But Sony
okay,
somehow is making it better, not somehow. I mean, with their processing, that I
right,
think it's called the XDR chip. Yeah, that's just putting them head and shoulders above everybody else when it comes to head-to-head competition. So, you
yeah.
know, somebody
So
somebody has an A80K. Yeah, killer
yeah,
TV.
Mike, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Don't
I
blame you,
forget
man.
what.
If I was buying another OLED, that's what I would go for. I would
Yeah,
go for one of those Sonys for sure.
I think that's what I have upstairs. I finally, once I got my Lumigen, I wasn't afraid to get an OLED in the house. Because before that,
I
I'm like,
know it'll ruin you.
it does. And it's like,
Yeah.
but once I got the Lumigen and I could see what I saw down here, I'm like, all right, now I'll try it. So it's only a 55 inch, which is even more dangerous because the bigger you go, you get to see more flaws. And like when you're
Hmm.
at a 55-inch OLED and you're like, and then you come down here to 110, and if you don't have a video processor, you'd be like, this sucks. So, but I love it. I love my Sony upstairs. Yeah, it's like I think it's the A80K, the whatever. I got it for like $1,000 when it went on sale. Something like
Wow.
that,
Yeah.
55 inch. So,
Good deal, man. Yeah.
yeah.
Bedroom dressing.
Yep.
Place to start.
What about, oh, here we go. What about room dressing? Where is a good place to start? That's something I
What does that
haven't
mean?
started. Oh my
Room
God.
room treatments for
Unfortunately,
audio?
yeah, it's 8:47. Todd and I will have to come back because and Todd will answer. I think he'll agree with me. What about treatments? That's something I haven't started. Almost every room, but go to your video with Peter Allet. Is that how you say his last name?
Aylet.
Alet.
Peter
He
Peter
actually
Aylet.
builds rooms, right? So that's what
Yeah.
he does, right? Go to Todd's videos about that, and it's what's the name of his
Off
company?
Officina Acustica.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what they say is you start with the room treatments. It's like you don't even know what you have until you have room treatments. And just what is it? Is that a 10-minute video or something like that with him? It was awesome.
Oh, it's like 17,
Oh, is it?
17
Okay.
minutes. I know that was a good get. I was really psyched to
Yeah.
be able to meet
I
with him.
talked
He's
to him for
such a
like
nice
five
guy.
minutes and he's amazing. So much passion. It's
Oh yeah.
awesome.
Guy's
It's awesome.
incredibly bright. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but definitely room treatments.
a good place to start would be quote unquote your first reflection points. That's probably the most important. I can show you here. Look at this live in my room. So there's my screen. It's Apple TV right now, but you'll notice. Actually, I'll do this. If oh crap, microphone. Let me see. So if you go like this, actually, let me. Sorry, Todd. You can just comment. There we go. Go to a wider screen. So these right here, these have been up for 20 years, and they're just like an inch and a half thick, recycled denim. You can find them online. The place I got mine aren't there anymore, but that's my first reflection points. So like when I'm sitting in my seat, that's what you want. So like anything the coming off of the speakers, you want to stop that from bouncing off and hitting you directly, but do that right away. That's probably your first point. After that, I would
Yep.
say back wall, as much as you can put on your back wall, because that room, the Trinov room, waveforming, what are they doing is they're using the back wall to cancel what's coming at it. So if you can do that with room treatments, you're kind of doing what they're doing for, oh, what, tens of thousands of dollars cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mike, all you need to do is sit down in your middle seat, have somebody hold a mirror up along your side walls, and that's how you identify first reflection points. When you can see the speaker,
Hmm.
that's when you know, put up I mean, that's a very generalized rule of thumb.
Yeah.
And you can buy traps from I like GIK Acoustics.
Hmm.
They're a really good vendor. You can buy, 2-inch absorbers that have like an inch
Hmm.
air gap. That would be really good for first reflection. They sell some products that have absorption and diffusion on them. They would be real. I would probably say talk to them because they'll say, hey,
Yeah.
send us measurements of your room, send us a diagram of your room. They'll help you build out what you need.
Right.
But DJ's right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places treatment can go. It could be,
It,
I would say this, don't throw your money away by guessing. So don't be afraid to call up Gick and say, hey, can I meet with you?
yeah.
Because they do it for free, right?
Hmm.
They'll hop online with you for free and look at everything. But yeah, I started the same way, DJ, you did. I did first reflection points with a mirror, and it's a world of
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And then,
Yep.
like I said, the front, I did my ceiling as well. I
Hmm.
did a little pattern if you use, so I got it up there,
Yep.
kind of the first reflection point there. But
Definitely a good
so
idea. Yeah.
yeah. But then after that, I would say just your front and your back walls,
Hmm.
and as much like I did my whole front wall. I think the biggest improvement I got in my room when I could actually achieve reference level was I designed my back wall when I redid this projector with I got 6 inches thick the whole back wall behind everything
Wow.
you see behind me here is all speaker cloth behind those shelves. Okay.
Okay. And it's all
And
absorption
yep,
behind there.
it's all insulation facing at you, so you get the puffy at you, 6 inches thick,
Hmm.
and that really dampened everything down. And you could actually, it's amazing when you do something like that. You're like, I can turn it up louder, and it doesn't sound as loud.
Right.
Now the house still vibrates the same. That I haven't solved in this house
Right.
yet, but yeah. So
Yeah, the room treatments are definitely not going to change any of that. That's a whole different issue. And, just to point out, Mike, behind DJ, the wall to him is fairly close. You don't want to put diffusion on a wall that's close to your seating. That's going to create
right,
all kinds of problems for you. You could do diffusion and absorption together, products that are made
yeah,
that way, but you don't want to put a straight up diffuser unless the seating is pretty far away from the wall.
right. I'm about the back of my seat's probably 5 feet from that.
Yeah, and
Four,
that
4.5,
probably
five
is
feet.
getting right
Yeah,
on the outer edge of where you might be able to do it.
yeah,
But like for me, I'm about 4 feet away, and it just would be too close.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, but there's tons of sources online. GIK is yeah,
yeah.
Brockstar here.
Don't discredit Facebook Marketplace as well for some GIK and ATS
Good tip.
panels for a buddy. For a buddy off of FBI saved him hundreds. Oh, nice.
Off of Facebook.
Off of Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook
Brock,
FBI. Yeah.
miss seeing you at the show. He
Yeah,
and
you
I,
met him last year there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was really nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed that a lot. That was a good time. Super nice guy. It's nice to meet him in person. I believe
Yeah.
he's local in the Dallas area
He's
or
close to
Texas.
the Dallas area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got to get you out to
Carpenter.
Denver.
Todd needs
I've
that
got a
Brightside.
hat.
I got a hat. Yeah.
Where's my? I've got a hat, so I think it's actually upstairs. I got to get the hat out
Yeah.
for next time.
Yeah.
And a pen, by the way. I have a pen.
You got more than one.
Uh,
That was so funny that night. Todd and I had a blast at dinner where the swag was going all over the table, and we're like, oh,
I had nothing to contribute.
yeah. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. Let's see
That's
what
some
else.
good
How
stuff.
many years is Cedia going to be in Colorado? Oh, Brock. Okay.
Ooh,
Last I heard 6 years. I might have
I've
heard it from
heard.
you.
I think I did tell you that. I've heard long term,
Yeah.
and I gotta say, my two favorite spots that I've been to it in have been Denver and San Diego. Um,
Oh,
I like the layout of Denver a lot. It's really an ideal place,
yeah.
particularly with the way the hotels are situated and everything. It's really perfect. I'd like to see them
Yeah.
keep it there, unless they bring it to Washington D.C., in which case I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. Well,
So
of course you're not.
that ain't going to happen.
I won't argue either. I'll stay with you.
That's right. AV all
No.
day, AV all night.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's no. I don't think we'd be friends afterwards. You would be like, DJ, we have to sleep. No, we don't. No, you're right. The layout there was really cool because we were all like, we stepped out going to dinner. It's like, do we want to go back to our? But everybody was like right there, and then we just all went to
Hmm.
dinner, and everybody just goes right. Everybody's in a different place, but we were all very, very close. So that's good. So that I mean, there's plenty of hotels available. So that was really cool. So
Yeah. One of the really cool things about San Diego is literally directly across the street is Petco Park. And
yeah.
I went to a game there with, I think it was Morantz or somebody had a little suite behind
Oh
home
wow,
plate, and it was pretty awesome. Yeah. The guy that created
that's
Oro
awesome.
Wilfred Van Balen was in there with us, and it was a lot of fun hanging out
Oh,
there.
wow.
But Denver, though, gets my vote, aside from being a pain to get to from the airport. Ugh,
You think that's a pain? I just Ubered in.
yeah.
How did you go?
Yeah, it's
It
like
was,
45 minutes, though, in a car.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
I had nothing to compare it to, and I was just excited to be like there. It's like, you're just happy to be a part of it. I was like, I'm not gonna complain. I would have driven the whole way there if I had to. Like,
that's awesome. Hey, Van Gool, Colorado Springs.
yeah,
I spent some time growing up there. My dad
yeah,
was stationed at the Air Force Academy back in the 70s.
yep.
Was just visiting there last summer, checking out the house I
I,
grew up in.
yeah. And I was telling Todd when we were out there that
Oh, Jeff.
I go,
That's my friend Jeff there, by the way, Jeff A.
oh, okay. What's he say?
No, Jeff, it is not better than, nothing is better than Camden Yards. You know that. That's heaven on earth.
Uh, the AV Nirvana suite at Camden Yards. Nice.
Jeff is enjoying some SVS Ultras in his house.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a pretty
The
good
towers
setup
or
going there.
bookshelves?
Towers, yep, Ultra Center.
Towers?
He's been developing an
Okay.
Atmos system, and
Nice.
he's got some power sound audio subs that he's playing around with.
Oh, that's what I'm running
Yep.
here. I got ultras across the front, bookshelves, and then I've got the primes around me. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, SVS is great.
Yeah, they
But
are.
yeah, I go to Colorado Springs for USA Hockey, and I was telling my wife next year my wife wants to do Pikes Peak in the car. She wants
Oh,
to hit
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pikes Peak is
that's a
awesome.
yeah, it is. So all right,
Yeah,
is
we used to be able to see
Monolith
that right now.
T5? Yeah. Let's see what else we
Yes,
got
they
going on.
are.
This one,
Yes. What was it?
Monolith.
Scruff King? Monolith
Yeah.
T5s. Yeah, they are like $99 or $89 right now.
Oh
That is
wow.
a steal. Yep. Yeah, if those are at all in your wheelhouse, price wise, scoop those things up right now. Yeah,
Awesome.
we have those
Uh,
advertised on our website if you want to
oh,
click
do you?
through there.
There you go. And that's what we got to do more of this. Like we were talking, we got to do more of this and get that when we have more time to chat. Oh, not I want to go to that. What was the? I wanted to highlight
Yeah,
something else. There was something about the
the Monolith T5s.
no
Oh no.
This one is Rocky Mountain Audio Fest still around? Do you know what's
Ah,
on? I've never
gosh,
heard of it.
I don't think it is. Then that might be a victim of COVID.
Yeah.
I know Expono survived. Rocky
Yep.
Mountain was a pretty good show there for a while, but I am not aware of it running again. I know Capital Audio Fest here in Washington, D.C. is running in like a month and a half if you're in the kind of the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area. That's a good one
Okay.
to swing by for a day ish, maybe. I don't know. I think it's doable in about a day, but they run it for like 3 days.
Are you going to Expo next year?
Mm, I don't know. My
I
jam is
gotta.
more the home, more. I'm more the home theater. A lot of those shows, it's they're in hotel hallways and you're
Hmm.
wandering around going from hotel room to hotel room. I don't know. I might. I'm not sure.
I got some
Depends what it
listeners
is and
in the
what's going on.
area. I got some listeners in the area, Mike and Johnny, and I got to get out there because they went last year as a team, met through our podcast. I'm like, all right, I got to go. And
Oh, awesome.
hopefully they're
Yeah,
going. If they're not going, I probably won't go. But yeah, if they're going,
it's a
we'll
great
go.
show.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good one. I've
I
I've covered it a couple times. I just kind of pick and choose throughout the year, and I really find myself gravitating more toward the home theater side of the
home
industry
theater.
in my interests. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm gonna start
but
taking them in, and then I'll do that probably. But yeah, so
yeah. I mean, maybe I'll be out there. I don't know. M-Wave guys.
what do we
Yep,
got? One more M
M-Wave.
Wave, guys. So much more into. Yeah. I'm going to that. That's for sure. I am definitely
Uh-huh.
going to that.
Yeah.
Did you go to? You didn't go this year, did you?
No.
To M-Wave?
No, I had chosen to Audio Advice Live to go to,
Oh,
but a
okay.
friend of mine passed away, and I
Yeah.
ended up not going. So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, M
That
Waves
one.
out in KC. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll
Kansas
travel
City.
out there for that. I might just stick with the East Coast because Audio
Yep.
Vice is right down in Carolina, and I can just drive down
Yep.
there and very similar shows.
Vibe. Okay.
Yeah.
When's that one? Is it
That
same time
one,
period?
yeah, that Audio Vice Live, I think was in August. I think it was August
Okay.
show. So yeah, I think it was literally like a week and a half or 2 weeks after M Wave.
M Wave. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, only so much time. And I mean, after a
Yeah.
while, you go to these things and you start seeing the same thing over and over again. So
Yeah.
my preference still is for Cedia, though.
Yeah. Yeah. We were saying
Out
that.
of all the shows I've seen, yeah, that's my preference. I think that's the most exciting one.
Yep.
Scruff
All
Clips or
right.
Monolith? Monolith. Because you get the ribbon, the air
Yeah.
motion tweeters
There you go.
over the horn tweeters. Yeah, it's going to sound a lot smoother.
Cool.
So,
All right. I got to wind
man, you
down
got to
because
go skate.
I gotta skate. I gotta get to my game at 10 o'clock, and I gotta get ready. So,
I like
but
this. I like the
thank you.
fast format, DJ. I have a lot more
I
energy
don't.
now than.
I'm like my stomach is a mess right now because I don't know how to wrap up quickly. So, oh no, yeah, no. No. We should do. We got to do more of these. And when I know you're a busy man, but I appreciate you coming on,
Yeah.
chatting home theater.
Yeah, I'd love to come on and chat. It's a lot easier for me to do, I honestly, the shorter format would be a lot easier for me to squeeze into my schedule
Of
than
course, of course. Well,
than
let's do it.
our
I,
100
I'll
our
I'll change for you, Todd. I'll change for you.
I love it. Yeah, Brock.
All
Hey, wait. Hold
right.
on. Did we just set a record for the fastest
What?
show?
You got the yeah. Well, yeah. It's not a podcast. It's just a live stream. But yes, probably. Yeah. We better hang up. We got to go quickly because if we don't, it's that's
That's